The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days.
I mean, I internalize that as opportunity. Like, we had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow, there's so much I want to say to you.
Hey fam, it's Madison here, and buckle up because we've got a plot twist so wild you'd swear Hollywood wrote the script itself. Except real life is serving up the drama this time. Today's focus? None other than Blake Lively, the once untouchable style icon with a red carpet smile to die for. Her meticulously polished image is now facing the stormiest weather of her career, and ironically enough, it might have been her own lawyer who lit the match. Yes, you heard that right, her own attorney just walked off the set of this legal saga, and it didn't go quietly. Grab your popcorn, babes, because we're about to dive headfirst into the scandal swirling around the ill-fated adaptation of It Ends With Us, directed by Justin Baldoni. You remember him, the empathetic, feel-good star turned filmmaker. At first glance, this project looked like a match made in cinematic heaven. Heartfelt story, charismatic leads, the works. Except it seems like behind the scenes, Blake was busy orchestrating a drama bigger than any she's been paid to star in. And let's just say the receipts are jaw-dropping. So let's wind back the clock to when It Ends With Us was first announced.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
It was supposed to be an emotional roller coaster, with Justin's well-known philanthropic energy in the director's seat and Blake's star power on screen. Fans were buzzing. OMG, a guaranteed winner, because we all assumed they'd get along like BFFs, bringing this beloved novel to life in a magical, tear-jerking sort of way. Spoiler alert, that's not what happened. Word got out that Blake felt overshadowed by Justin, who was not only directing and co-writing but also starring. Talk about wearing all the hats. Initially, people shrugged it off as standard Hollywood friction, but soon enough, the rumor mill cranked into high gear. Did Blake think Justin was hogging the spotlight? Was she, in turn, trying to wrestle control from him? Next thing we know, we've got tabloids plastering headlines like, Blake accuses Justin of smear campaign. She claimed he fed negative gossip to the press to make her look, well, less important. Some fans were like, could be true. Hollywood is savage after all. Others raised an eyebrow because, come on, Justin's known as Mr. Feel-Good Vibes. But hold up. Then come the leaked messages. Screenshots and text logs start making the rounds, courtesy of Team Baldoni. And guess what they show? That maybe, just maybe, it was Blake pulling the puppet strings.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of
it's
both.
like, yeah, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like,
It's a
kind
comedy.
of like my outfit, I guess.
Allegedly, she had a circle of dragons, her word, not mine, powerful friends like her husband Ryan Reynolds, ready to swoop in and strong-arm the production. She even threatened to flex her influence over marketing, film edits, and PR if she didn't get her way. Did you just gasp? Same, babes, same. At first, it was all hush-hush. Then, claims started bubbling up that Blake wanted to rewrite the script, dictate camera angles, and even rearrange the press junket so she'd get top billing. Production insiders spilled that she made strongly worded demands. Some might say borderline ultimatums. But the real jaw-dropper landed when Blake filed legal complaints about feeling unsafe. No formal protocols for close contact scenes, alleged snide remarks about her postpartum body, the works. Now, if those allegations were true, Justin would look downright villainous. Except his team whipped out more complete text messages that seemed to show the total opposite. Like Blake had actually invited him into her trailer on multiple occasions, joking about the timing. Cue the confusion. Who's telling the truth here? And then came the moment nobody saw coming. Blake's longtime lawyer basically jumped ship. In Hollywood, on a high-profile star. That's the kind of plot twist that stops traffic on Sunset Boulevard, babes.
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
Lawyers usually just quietly file, "I'm no longer representing this client," in court and move on. But this attorney, they released a statement that pretty much said, "I can't ethically stand behind the story my client is spinning." Yes, let that sink in. They didn't just walk away. They threw a metaphorical mic drop on their way out the door. The subtext? They'd seen the full trove of Blake's messages, unredacted and in chronological order, and concluded that the narrative she was pushing was missing some crucial bits. Suddenly, the rumor mill exploded, because if your own lawyer can't support your claims, how solid are they really? Overnight, industry folks who'd had deals or potential projects with Blake started whispering about pressing pause. Even her usually unwavering fanbase got skittish. Some still defending her, others feeling betrayed. Social media lit up with heated threads about whether Blake had orchestrated a grand ruse to overshadow Justin's role, especially if she was angling for more creative clout. Meanwhile, Justin basically sat back, letting the lawyer's bombshell do the heavy lifting. After weeks of carefully refuting her claims with receipts, he didn't have to say much anymore.
And being frank, if it were not for women giving me direct feedback in my own personal life and being a man who was willing to at least listen to them, there's no chance that I would be having this conversation. So the message, to answer your question, the message is very simple. As men, we need to embrace all of the parts of us that make...
A lot of it's my real life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some...
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which
except
one?
It's just...
Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know, I hope it'll be healing in some way. Because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial just like you and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because, Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
The word from within the production circle was that he'd never intended to wage war. He just wanted to protect his reputation and, keep his film afloat. Post-lawyer exodus, more voices started chiming in. Crew members recounted small disagreements over wardrobe or scheduling that Blake apparently blew up into major crises. The mismatched stories about postpartum concerns also raised eyebrows. While she claimed Justin zeroed in on her weight in a belittling way, the messages painted him as hyper-conscious about his own back problems, wanting to ensure neither of them got hurt during certain scenes. And let's not forget the infamous birth clip fiasco with producer Jamie Heath, where Blake described it as borderline obscene. He described it as an attempt to provide real emotional context for a childbirth scene. The difference between those two narratives? Night and day, babes. Now you'd think Ryan Reynolds, king of witty tweets, would jump in guns blazing to defend his wife's honor. Instead, he's gone radio silent. Tabloids started speculating that maybe even he was citing the mounting evidence. Did he see the full text logs too? We don't know.
I mean, I internalized that as opportunity. We had such a responsibility to this audience to deliver something and to have the opportunity to deliver something for a passionate group of people.
Yeah.
As someone who is so deeply passionate myself, I was so excited about that. I would so much rather have that than people who are indifferent.
Blase.
All we know is that while he usually can't resist a sassy quip, he's been conspicuously MIA throughout this entire meltdown. Draw your own conclusions. While Blake's version of events seemed to be shifting, Justin maintained a consistent line: transparency, evidence, and letting the public decide. He might have been forced into a tabloid swirl, but apparently his methodical receipts told a cohesive story that's turning the tide in his favor. For a guy who aimed to produce a heartfelt movie, he ended up at the center of a legal showdown. Irony? Absolutely. But guess what? With her attorney's public denouncement, Justin's claims about being unfairly maligned look stronger than ever. Like, I told you so levels of strong. And it's not just the lawyer. Multiple crew members have come forward to back him up, some even pointing to specific text threads that support his account. The more we see, the more suspicious Blake's original allegations appear. So, the $64,000 question: why on earth would Blake risk it all? One theory suggests she craved a bigger slice of creative control than her contract allowed. Another posits she might have wanted to overshadow Justin for personal reasons.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well. And I was one of 2 people, maybe. And then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah, no.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
Maybe she felt her star power was overshadowed by his directorial trifecta. Who knows? But if she tried to tilt the scales with inflated or fabricated claims, and her own lawyer implies there's a good chance she did, that plan has seriously backfired. Now she's stuck with the fallout. And even if she tries to quietly exit stage left, the gossip hounds are on full alert. No easy PR fix in sight. Producers who once salivated at the chance to work with Miss Lively are now adopting a wait-and-see approach. Because let's face it, nobody wants a star on set who might cause a fiasco that goes nuclear on social media, complete with attorney blowout, leaked texts, and tabloid mania. For an actress who used to top best dress lists and star in major flicks, this fiasco is the polar opposite of the squeaky clean brand she'd cultivated. Meanwhile, Justin's star might actually shine brighter for weathering the storm with receipts at the ready. Imagine that. A fiasco that was supposed to tarnish him might end up boosting his credibility, especially among colleagues who appreciate that he didn't fold under the weight of scandal. With her own lawyer's departure being the final straw, Blake is now in no man's land. If she tries to push forward with her allegations, she'll have to do so under the glaring spotlight of her ex-attorney's damning departure. If she tries to let it all fade away, she's still tainted by the unanswered questions, in the sense that she might have manufactured a narrative for personal gain. Neither path is particularly rosy. She could attempt a redemption arc. Hollywood loves those, after all. But with so many contradictions on the table, it'll be an uphill climb. PR stunts can only do so much when text logs and ex-attorneys say otherwise. It's a cautionary tale, my friends. No matter how glitzy your persona, if the receipts don't match the spin, the truth will come knocking. In the digital age, you can't hide behind curated statements if entire text threads, voice memos, and a departing lawyer are stepping up to call your bluff. And oh, how the mighty facade can crumble when that happens. As for Justin, he's got a messy victory lap if he wants it, though something tells me he'd rather have had a smooth production. Instead, he's rummaging through a PR war zone. The difference is now he's riding a wave of public sympathy, ironically brought on by the very drama Blake instigated. Depositions, countersuits, more bombshell leaks, possibly. The Hollywood rumor mill says this saga isn't over, but for now, the biggest story is that the attorney who once defended Blake's every claim has essentially said, yeah, about that, I'm out. And that, my friends, may be the loudest message of all. Will Blake salvage her reputation? Will Justin move on to direct another tearjerker that hopefully stays tear-free behind the scenes? We'll keep you posted, babes. If there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Tinseltown thrives on shock and awe. So don't toss your popcorn just yet. What do you think? Did Blake genuinely believe her own story? Or was she orchestrating a grand scheme for creative control that blew up in her face? Is Justin the real MVP, or do you think more twists are coming? Sound off below and hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop on all the swirling Hollywood chaos. I'm Madison, signing off with a reminder that in a world where everything is screenshotable, keep your receipts real, babes. Until next time, stay messy, stay blessed, and let the tea flow freely. Mwah.